What's going on, everybody? Just when you thought the Resident Evil franchise was dead and gone, nope, like the zombies in the movies, just keeps coming back to life. However, I have to say, this movie was not nearly as bad as some of the other ones. I'd hazard to say that this probably is the best Resident Evil movie that they've made thus far. And that might not be saying much, but at least it's saying something. Like, honestly, I thought this movie worked on so many levels. And one of the main reasons is that I think they got the post-apocalyptic feel down, finally. The only one I think I could really compare it to is the third one, because it was kind of like this desolate, sandy wasteland. And I thought that one was actually pretty decent, but it still felt a little bit artificial. But I gotta be honest, in this movie, I didn't feel that artificiality, like, at all. They really did a good job making it feel like this was the end of the world. And I'll just come right out and say it. I don't think Paul W.S. Anderson's a good director. He just isn't. He didn't really do anything good with any of the Resident Evil movies that he's done prior to this one. And he also did Alien vs. Predator, which is a god-awful film. But you know what? I think he found some stride in this one. Because generally speaking, he hasn't gotten very good performances out of most of the actors that he's worked with, let's be real. But you know what? Most of the acting in this movie was actually pretty darn good. Some of the side characters sucked a lot of dick, but most of them get killed off soon, so it's fine. And another thing is, most of the time when somebody dies in one of his other movies, like, it really, like, you just don't give a shit about the character. Like, they die and you're just like, oh, okay. They were expendable. And that also happens a lot in this one, but there was one scene where it was very dramatic and the death actually meant something and it was actually a little bit sad. Like, I never thought that Paul Anderson would actually make me think, like, aww, right after somebody died. Like, I was actually kind of impressed. So the atmosphere and the acting were vastly improved over the last ones. Some of the things I really didn't like, I hate the guy that they have playing Wesker. I don't know who he is. I don't know why he's wearing sunglasses all the time, but he sucks. He's just not good. It might just be the way he's being directed, but I'm not a fan of that dude, whoever he is. And usually they try and finagle something from the games, like some big-ass monster that doesn't translate to film, and there's no reason why it should be in the movie, but it is because of all the gamers that probably will enjoy that. Like, in one movie they had the huge guys with the hammer axes and the pins through their heads, and I saw that and I hated it. And they do that, like, right in the beginning of the movie. She fights, like, this huge-ass monster, like, not even 5 minutes into the movie. Which, I'm glad they got it out of the way in the beginning, because in all the other ones, at the end of the movie, she fights some big, dumb monster that somehow she beats, even though she's, like, a fourth of whatever the size she's fighting. They got it out of the way right in the beginning of the movie, but it did not need to be in the movie. Like, when he was writing the movie, he's just like, I need a big action piece at the beginning just to kind of set the stage. And it's like, dude, you could have not gone all fucking out, and you could have saved a little bit of money on special effects. Like, come on, dude. And let's be honest, every Resident Evil movie has some cheesy-ass dialogue, and this one still actually has some. But it's not nearly as bad as the other ones, so I actually didn't have a problem with it. Besides those three things, I honestly liked the movie for the most part. Like, partway through the movie, not the very end, but there's like this siege battle scene. It was actually really, really awesome. And the special effects in it, like, aren't perfect, but they were very good and pleasing to the eye, to the point where I was just like, that looks so fucking sweet. And like, just the way the battle went down was awesome. Like, the action scenes in this movie were actually, like, vastly improved over the last ones, because it's not all 100% CGI retardedness. Like, the movie was very CGI heavy, but it didn't look ridiculously CGI. Like, they didn't overdo it, except for the first scene. I still maintain fuck that scene. And I thought the story was vastly improved too. Like, I feel like they actually took time to make this a decent story. And there's like a couple of twists and turns where they're like, oh shit, this happens, but backtrack and explain to you how this happened. And it, like, I thought it just flowed very well. Like, the way certain things were explained. And I liked the way they did the ending this time around, because like I said, they didn't do the big fucking giant monster unrealistic fucking fight. They got that out of the way in the beginning, and then the last bit of the movie was like, it was an emotional ending rather than like a physical ending, if that makes any sense. And Paul Anderson and Mila Jovovich have finally found like a medium where he can actually direct her and she actually gives a really good performance and he captures the right one. Like, every other time she hasn't been that great. And I like Mila Jovovich. Like, she's not the greatest actress in the world, like, not Academy Award worthy, but she's put out some good ass movies though. And also the way that they fuck with clones a lot in this movie, and I liked the way that they used that. Way more creative than the other piles of shit that came out. The last thing that I noticed is they use one of the actors and they do an older version of them, and like their makeup slash prosthetic slash possibly CGI was actually pretty fucking good. Like, they aged up a certain actor, and I don't know if they did a combination of CGI and practical, but like, whatever they did, it worked, and I didn't recognize that person. Like, you recognize like the eyes and the mouth maybe, but like everything else is like, you could tell they aged the person up, and it was very well done actually. And like I said before, I really liked the ending. Like, I didn't like the last like 10 seconds of the movie or whatever, and like the last shot, but like, who cares about that? The overall ending of the film was very good, and the movie looked fantastic, so it was like the biggest improvement ever in a franchise. If I had to watch one thing for the rest of my life and I had a choice between this movie and all 5 of the other Resident Evil movies, like, put together, I would pick this movie in a heartbeat. Like, this is probably the best one that they've made, and it's probably my favorite one. However, it's not perfect, and just because I enjoyed it immensely doesn't necessarily make it an awesome movie. But that being said, I'm giving it a 7.4. I really actually had a good time, and it was worth the money, in my opinion. And I am not a huge fan of this franchise, so just keep that in mind. It looked better, it sounded better, and it ended well. I liked what they did with it. But anyway, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Did you see the movie? Do you want to see the movie? Hop in the comments, let me know what's up. Other than that, if you like this video, drop me a like, subscribe, do all that other bullshit, and I will catch you guys later.